The book of Genesis serves as the foundational narrative of the Bible, detailing the origins of the world, humanity, and the nation of Israel. Creation. Genesis begins with the account of creation in Genesis 1 and 2, where God creates the heavens, the earth, and all living beings in 6 days, culminating in the creation of humanity in His image. This act establishes the inherent dignity and worth of every person. Adam and Eve. The first humans, Adam and Eve, are placed in the Garden of Eden, living in perfect harmony with God. They are given the command not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This leads us to the next significant event, the fall. In Genesis 3, the serpent tempts Eve to eat the forbidden fruit, leading to disobedience. Adam follows suit, and as a consequence, sin enters the world. This act breaks the perfect relationship between God and humanity, leading to shame, guilt, and separation from God. The flood. As humanity multiplies, so does wickedness. In Genesis 6, God decides to cleanse the earth through a flood, but spares Noah and his family, who are instructed to build an ark. The flood serves as both judgment and a new beginning, illustrating God's justice and mercy. Key figures. Apart from Adam and Eve, the book of Genesis introduces key figures such as Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. Each of these patriarchs plays a critical role in God's unfolding plan. Abraham is called to leave his homeland and is promised that his descendants will become a great nation. Jacob, later named Israel, becomes the father of the 12 tribes, while Joseph's story illustrates God's providence and forgiveness. Cherubim. Exodus, the journey from slavery to freedom. The book of Exodus details the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt and their journey to the Promised Land. The oppression of Israel. The narrative begins with the Israelites suffering under Pharaoh's harsh rule. God raises up Moses to lead his people out of bondage. The plagues. God sends 10 plagues upon Egypt to demonstrate his power and compel Pharaoh to release the Israelites. Each plague targets Egyptian gods, showcasing God's sovereignty. The Passover. The final plague involves the death of the firstborn, but God instructs the Israelites to mark their doors with lamb's blood, sparing them from this judgment. This event establishes Passover, a key ritual in Jewish tradition. The Red Sea. After leaving Egypt, the Israelites face the Red Sea. God parts the waters, allowing them to cross on dry land, while the pursuing Egyptians are drowned. This miraculous deliverance highlights God's power and faithfulness. Mount Sinai. At Mount Sinai, God gives Moses the 10 Commandments, establishing a covenant with Israel. These laws outline how they are to live in relationship with God and one another. The Tabernacle. Exodus concludes with instructions for building the tabernacle, a dwelling place for God among his people. This signifies God's desire to be present with them. Leviticus. Understanding holiness and worship. The book of Leviticus focuses on the laws and rituals that govern Israel's worship in daily life. Holiness. Central to Leviticus is the concept of holiness. God calls his people to be holy as he is holy, which is reflected in the laws given for sacrifices, cleanliness, and ethical conduct. Sacrificial system. The book outlines various offerings, including burnt offerings, grain offerings, and sin offerings, which demonstrate the importance of atonement and the need for a mediator between God and humanity. The Day of Atonement. Leviticus 16 describes Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, when the high priest offers sacrifices for the sins of the people, symbolizing God's provision for forgiveness and reconciliation. Priestly duties. Instructions for the priesthood, including their consecration and responsibilities, highlight the role of the priests as mediators between God and the people. Moral and ethical laws. Leviticus also contains laws governing moral behavior, including guidelines on sexual ethics, honesty, and justice. These laws are designed to cultivate a community that reflects God's character. Deuteronomy. a call to remember and obey. The book of Deuteronomy is essentially a series of speeches given by Moses as the Israelites prepare to enter the Promised Land. Reiteration of the law. Deuteronomy revisits the laws given in previous books, emphasizing their importance and relevance. Moses reminds the Israelites of their covenant relationship with God. The Shema. One of the key passages is the Shema, Deuteronomy 6:4-5, which commands Israel to love the Lord with all their heart, soul, and strength. This foundational principle underscores the importance of devotion to God. Blessings and curses. Moses outlines the blessings that will come from obedience and the curses that will follow disobedience.